So on Wednesday, we had an amazing treat provided to us by CNN. Let's go ahead and add it to the screen. Buried in my thoughts. All right, y'all. Here we go. Y'all can see on the screen, we have Mr. 45, 47.
Welcome back to CNN's
Donald Trump.
Presidential Town Hall with former President Donald Trump. President Trump would like to meet Jennifer Simmons.
CNN.
She is a stay-at-home mom
And,
and former town selectman from Wyndham.
when I tell
She's
you,
Republican and she voted for
Trump
you in
put on a
2020.
clinic
Jennifer, what's your question
on
tonight?
CNN
Good evening,
ads?
Mr. President. Title 42 is expected
Trump
to
put on a
expire
clinic
tomorrow.
on CNN
Our
ads,
southern
y'all.
border and now our northern border are
This
experiencing
chick here,
record migration. We learned on May
Caitlyn
2nd
chick,
that the Biden administration
no
plans on
bueno,
deploying
y'all.
1,500 troops to the southern
Caitlyn's
border.
no bueno, y'all.
Do you agree with deploying troops to the border?
And let me
and
show
how
you
will
what
the
we're
Trump
talking about.
administration
I'm going to let
slow
you
down
hear,
the
and
rate
then
of
I'm going
migrants
to
coming
show
across
you.
all our borders?
Sure.
I'm going to show you where she is full of business. Fair use, fair use.
CNN's Republican Presidential Town Hall with former President Donald Trump. President Trump would like to meet Jennifer Simmons. She is a stay-at-home mom and former town selectman from Wyndham. She's a Republican and she voted for you in 2020. Jennifer, what's your question tonight?
Good evening, Mr. President. Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow. Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration. We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree with deploying troops to the border, and how will a Trump administration slow down the rate of migrants coming across all our borders?
Sure. A very fair question, especially since tomorrow is going to be a day of infamy. You're going to have tens of thousands of people pouring into our country. Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early. And he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this, but this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen. How they're not going to do a version of Title 42 or my Title 42, which was tough. If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like we've never had in the history of our country.
But Mr. President,
our country is being destroyed.
The reason it's ending is because the health policy, the COVID era pandemic emergency is coming to an end. That's what Title 42 was. You put it in place because of COVID.
But
when it comes to big questions about what your immigration policy would look like if you are reelected, some of your Republican rivals have criticized you for not fulfilling the promises that you made on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how do voters know that you would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming. You close up one, and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr. President. You can't keep saying that all night long.
And
we're gonna get into that.
They took over and they decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3 weeks. I built hundreds of miles of wall. If we didn't have it, it would be hard to believe it could be any worse. They're just letting people flow into our country. Look, a country has to have borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President. It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
no, but I have to respond to that.
With your immigration, it was only about 52 miles of new wall.
This is what she does. I built hundreds of miles. Some of the wall was up there and would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood, and what the radical left crazy Democrats did, if there's a piece of wood laying down, they consider that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet into the ground. If there was a little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall. One other immigration.
All right. I gotta cut that bitch off. Yeah, I know. And the reason why, because again, they be on that bullshit, right? They be on that bullshit. So she says that, Mr. President, you only built 52 miles of wall. You only built 52 miles of wall. You didn't know. You only built 52 miles of wall. You built 42 miles of wall. You didn't build. You didn't build. U.S. News and World Report. Now, we all know U.S. News, right? This is a reputable news source. It's been a reputable news source as far as I've known for a very long time. So, how much of Trump's border wall was built? February 7th, 2022. Now, this was a year ago. All right. Just hours after President Joe Biden took office in January 2021, he signed a handful of executive orders fulfilling campaign promises and signaling the priorities of his fledgling administration. Among them, in order to immediately halt construction on former President Donald Trump's signature border wall. Okay. So Biden stopped the wall from being built or being finished. Trump's signature promise to build a barrier along the southwest border of the U.S. propelled him to victory in 2016, and his administration during his term appropriated some $15 billion for its construction, a big chunk of which was taken from the Defense Department's budget after Congress refused to meet administration's funding demands and prompting a lengthy government shutdown. So, check it. It is... Jesus Christ, is that smooth? Is that all smooth? Y'all, that's smooth, y'all. Tell oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we need that down. We need that on mute. So hopefully it's muted now. Oh, there we go. All right, now it is. So Trump's signature promise to build a barrier. Okay, we talked all that, the lengthy. Then it's defense. They talk about it being taken from the defense budget. Listen, y'all, it is defense. We're defending the border. So there's nothing wrong with it coming out of our budget, especially when the defense budget is the biggest fucking budget. It's funny. They cry about the defense budget being too big and how it could go to other things. And it does go to other things, but it's actually for defense, and they get mad. It's because the Democrats are fucking loony. But here's the big thing that I wanted to show y'all. Before Biden stopped new construction on the wall, the Trump administration had built 458 miles of what is dubbed as border wall system, according to final figures compiled by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The wall consists mostly of 18 to 30-foot steel bollards anchored in concrete. The barrier also has sensors, lights, cameras, and parallel roads in some places. You see that right there, y'all? Total 458 miles. All right, guys. What do we have? In red, recently built. In blue, pre-existing barriers. So now, let's look at this map. That's a lot of red, y'all. That's a lot of red, y'all. That's a lot of red. Recently built, pre-existing barriers. Some 226 miles, or nearly half of the total number of miles built, run along the border in Arizona, including more than 100 miles in both the Border Patrol sector near Yuma and in the sector near Tucson. So Trump built 458 miles. 458 miles. And what did this bitch say out of her mouth?
A little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall.
It's about 52 miles of new wall, but U.S. News said per the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, 458 miles recently built.